Buy my novel, Escape from the Village, from major booksellers online. Go to escapevillage.com. Subscribe to my Substack. Go to fountainheadforum.substack.com. Thank you. Welcome to the party, pal. This is Fountainhead Forum 79. I have Keith Lamont Johnson, who is an actor living in Memphis currently. He's also got the starring role in a very interesting movie called The Jones Plantation, which has been also put out by Larken Rose and Amanda Rockwitz. And we're going to talk about about Keith and what he's been doing in the movie right now. And hopefully we can avoid spoiling you if you haven't seen it yet. I have seen it, so we'll talk about that now. How are you, Keith?
I'm well. I'm great. Yeah. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
By the way. Fine, yeah. So, how did you get into acting?
Well, I guess I should try to make this short story. Well, I got bit by the acting bug at the age of 12 at asthma camp. We performed this skit, and I don't even remember what the skit was, but I just remember while I was performing, I loved doing it, and a reaction I got from my camp counselor. He's like, "Oh, you're really good." It was like a kind of a genuine thing, and I remember signing up. I was going into my 7th grade year, and I remember they had this curriculum. And I remember seeing drama. I was like, oh, I want to do that. So just one of those things. I did it through junior high school, entered the drama and theater, and which did some community theater, and which led me to my drama teacher at the community theater college notified me about this film that was filming in Memphis. It was this Hollywood movie, 21 Grams. Starring Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro. They were looking for little speaking parts, and so I didn't have the headshots or anything, and sent my little snapshot in and auditioned, and I had my first movie experience with that film, 21 Grams, inmate number 2, and I've been on the journey ever since. Mainly a lot of independent films and leading roles and bit parts here and there, some of the major studio films. So yeah, I'm just It's kind of just been on that journey for 20 years now. So yeah.
Oh, you don't look that old. Maybe commercials and maybe I don't know, maybe even some industrials, although they're not very glamorous, but they do pay well from what I hear.
Yeah. But I'm not officially a part. I'm still SAG eligible. I'm not a part of it. I know that the whole strike is going on now. But actually, when I got that, I was SAG eligible when I got that bit part, that speaking role for the union. If everybody knows, Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, and I believe the rules are if you get another SAG role, another SAG movie, you have to join. Is how that works.
Yeah, that was. I think I got that. That was 2002. And I think at that time, it was 1. So I remember getting the papers and everything. SAG eligible. And I think it's changed now. He's thinking, what is this, two roles now? It's speaking part.
That's what I've heard. I know a lot of actors, but I know there's SAG. And even being a member of SAG doesn't guarantee you're going to make a living. Yeah, I know SAG has some other benefits. So I know they've got a group health insurance plan and stuff like that, which is other things that serve their members other than just being a union. I mean, that's and of course now it's SAG-AFTRA, but yes, that's and of course, is Tennessee a right to work state?
I don't know. I'm actually in Arkansas. I'm in a place, Forest City, Arkansas. So I'm 45 minutes from Memphis. So I'm right, I'm closer to Memphis than I am to Little Rock. So yeah, but I don't know.
I know in some right to work states they can't make the productions SAG only. They have to open them up to everybody, and so some people say that it's actually not a benefit being a member of SAG if you're in a right to work state, but obviously California you are. But it looks like to me though, it sounds like you're getting a lot of work just in Memphis though.
Well, I've been fortunate to work with this. It's a filmmaker out of Jackson, Tennessee, actually. 90% of my stuff over the last 6 years has been with him. We do these. It's probably not even considered low budget, mainly micro budget films, but they're quality. So a lot of the stuff I've been doing with him, Jerron Lockridge, that's been kind of keeping me getting to play like interesting characters. This is a movie that we have out now, Succuba. You may have seen the poster for it. Yeah, that's currently out. It's on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Apple TV, iTunes, I believe. But yeah, I've been mainly collaborating with him. It's been 90% of the acting work I get, and so yeah. And Jones Plantation just kind of came out of. That was a nice surprise for me. Was notified about that at the end of 2021. So yeah, that was nice.
So yeah, so let's talk about the Jones Plantation. It's a feature film, and it's about and it takes place in the Old South before the Civil War, and there's a story. The story is this plantation owner is trying to get more productivity out of his slaves. The plantation owners hire a consultant who comes in to make the plantation more productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm with my character Charles. I play Charles, one of the slaves, and
yeah,
we're just in this we're in this environment, being the slaves, and Mr. Smith comes in, and we're kind of taken by surprise, like, wow, Mr. Smith, and I guess that's when the chaos starts, the drama starts. So, yeah.
Yes, Mr. Smith comes in. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hadn't seen the film, but I got to tell you the experience of a little bit of working on it. So we filmed the main two locations were Natchez, Mississippi, Frogmore, Louisiana. We're on an actual plantation. I think it's like a tourist, attraction now. But it was cold, and as an actor, for me, it kind of helped me out and made me feel like I was really living it. I guess it was a little uncomfortable, but it kind of helped me out for my character. The wardrobe, the boots. I remember finishing when we were wrapped. My feet were sore, and these boots. I guess everything was authentic from the 1800s, and yeah.
Yeah, it was a very interesting role. So you were playing Charles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Mr. Smith shows up, and Mr. Smith shows up at the Jones Plantation, and it's very interesting that Mr. Smith, how he does this. I mean, what do you think of Mr. Smith as a character?
Well, I guess it's what I thought about is obviously this guy is very charming, kind of a charming guy. I guess you can take it into modern day, like the politicians. They say the right things.
Yeah.
And what you were saying earlier about manipulation, he's real slick. Yeah, he's manipulative, charming. I don't know what to say.
Yes,
but I give
very, very manipulative. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I guess Oh, you can finish. You can finish. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts? You saw the movie, so.
Yeah, it's very interesting the way he goes it about the way he goes about winning over the trust of the plantation and keeping that working out. I mean, it's very much it's really brilliant. I mean, the main thing it seems he has trouble with is he has to keep convincing, the plantation owner who's hired him to not get in his way. That seems to be the biggest challenge he has. I mean, but then the plantation owner hires him, and I think the plantation owner is even surprised when he shows up, find out, oh, you're African-American. Yeah, he's probably expecting another white guy. But...
yeah, and of course, for a slave, it's like, wow, this black guy, he's what? He's gonna, wow, he's in charge. He's gonna, wow, There's a line, I think you may have even seen it on in the trailer. It's like, oh, we're free. The whole setup. I don't want to give too much away, but we're gonna be free. We're free.
Yeah, we're gonna be free. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but the premise of the movie is So, what do you think about the whole? What do you think is the key message of this movie?
I think first of all, I say it opened my eyes to some things. I guess whatever political side, I see actually the Republican Democrat side. I see it's things going on wrong in both sides, and but the message of the movie, I guess, would be maybe just need to think for ourselves, and just maybe be aware of things. Open your mind. Maybe don't be a slave in your mind. I know I'm just rambling on, but yeah. Yeah. That's that's all I can say for now.
Yeah, I think maybe another key message is just don't be. Sometimes it really is all on the head, and it's and maybe it's also the message that it's hard to change people's habits when they've grown up within a system.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess mental slavery, maybe. Mental slavery.
Yes. Mental slavery.
Yeah. It's So it's that line where we all live on the Jones Plantation. Jones Plantation in our head. Just maybe think, open up. Get out of that mental slavery.
Yeah, and I wonder too, if that was something Larken did. Why he chose very, some of the more names that are considered very generic. Smith and Jones. Mr. Smith shows up for Jones. Maybe that's just because to make it so anybody could identify with them and make it easy to understand what was going on. So, Smith, How long did it take to shoot, and how much work was involved in shooting and getting it all done? I mean, rehearsal and.
It was pretty much. I know I was there for maybe 7, 8 days, so maybe a little over a week. I think the whole production they did. I don't know, maybe a month or month and a half, maybe. No, when I got there, it was not really any rehearsal. We just kind of went straight into it. I was there with other actors who were all, different parts of the country, and just got right in there and did it. So it wasn't. At least for this, it wasn't that much rehearsal. We just right in their environment with the cotton fields and the church. We just right at it, right in it.
Not a lot of retakes or a lot of changes in the scripts either.
I mean, it was certain things. At least I know for me, it was a scene. I think my character it was a whipping scene. And
Yeah.
we kind of cut that back a little. So many, to take place with another character. And so I said, Andrew, the director, was like, I don't think we need, we don't need this. We already got enough, whippings in it. So just little things here and there. Or I don't know, maybe things were cut for, for time, or, when you get a script, the script is like a blueprint. And then once you get to the filming stage, it's like, oh, well, do we really need this? And so things can be changed or taken out. So,
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't think the general public realizes just how many memorable scenes are completely improv'd.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And those usually are the best ones, the best moments.
Was there any improv, or how much improving or ad libbing was there in this one, or was it all pretty much stayed on the script? I mean, some directors really hate that, but some directors are saying, they'll just let the camera roll and say, okay, keep going.
At least for me, well, I was part of the slaves. It wasn't a lot of dialogue. I didn't have really a lot of dialogue, but it was, mainly a bunch of group scenes with us as the slaves, and he just let us do different things, and chant. So I guess you could say it was a little bit of improv, maybe. Like I said, it wasn't a lot of heavy dialogue, at least for my scene. So it was just, just had to be in the moment and whatever feels right. And you say, okay, that's cool. We'll do that again or try something different. Or, so yeah, I felt free. That's the best thing any director can do, to have an actor to give them that freedom to try out things. So yeah, I didn't feel restricted at all for the for my character performance.
Yeah. Did you have any input on your character, or did you pretty much just follow the script?
It was just kind of there. I mean, I didn't. I read the script, and it was, like I said, the majority of my scenes is not a lot of dialogue, and it's kind of just written right there on the page. Just kind of dramatic things, and I just kind of had to. For me, I just kind of had to soak up the environment. Like I said, we filmed, and it was like really cold. We're in this. Majority of the scenes as all of our, the slaves are. We're in this church, and like I said, I was using everything I could to try to help me get into the character, the wardrobe, and I was just in the moment, just try to do it as best as I could. So that was about all as far as preparation for this character, Charles. So
yeah, Charles. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I said, it was in the moment as best as I could be present, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. So
be present, yeah.
That's the best I could. Like it was a lot of dialogue on the page with Charles.
So it was a case where they weren't really so it was supposed to be the South, so the weather was colder than what it was supposed to be portrayed as. That's always a challenge, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was just due to time. The schedule, had to get. I'm sure they wanted. I think they ended up doing some reshoots. They came back last to Mississippi, I think, a year ago in June, and was able to capture some of the summer weather. Like I said, I hadn't seen it. Could you tell from certain shots maybe that maybe captured it had like a warm summer feel to it? Maybe I know they did reshoots.
No, I didn't see anything like that. I guess I don't always catch those goofs. I mean, there's a lot more. They usually do what they can to cover them up in the editing room if they get through all the shoots. It's there's definitely a lot of things that happen there. It's like sometimes they'll shoot they might and of course, because they don't always shoot movies and where they take place, that can be difficult. Where were you? Where was the movie shot?
Two locations was Natchez, Mississippi.
Yeah, Natchez.
And I was all of my scenes, all the stuff we did. Slaves were in Louisiana, Frogmore, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And actually, those cotton, the field scenes, those we got lucky in those days. Those are actually the warmer days. So
yeah.
It just happened to be a little warmer those days when we were outside picking the cotton. And so yeah, we got lucky.
What was the reason for having two different sets like that? Because all the action really takes place on the plantation. It doesn't really.
I don't know. I think they used it was a home they use in Natchez.
Yeah.
I want to say you may even see it in the trailer when he's like looking down. I think they filmed that. It was a beautiful house, plantation house in Mississippi. I think that was in that house. I want to say. Yeah, I think it was mainly in Natchez because of they had a beautiful plantation home. I think. Yeah. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. Yeah, it's a definitely. But well, at least they filmed it in the South somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sometimes they get stuff like that completely wrong, and sometimes it's more subtle things like the plant life in the background is wrong. I said those plants. That plant doesn't grow in that area.
Yeah.
The movie's supposed to take place in Ohio, but she's playing. Said that doesn't grow in Ohio. Sometimes the details, but yeah, it's a lot of different things you see. But so what do you think? What do you have to say about some of the other characters in there? I mean, we've talked about Mr. Smith, but Tobias Smith, but there's also Mr. Jones and some of the other characters. What do you think all that?
Yeah, the actor Lee Gallman or Legal Man. Yeah, I got to hang with him a bit. He was very cool. Plays Mr. Jones.
Yeah,
and like I said, I haven't seen the movie, but I just saw the trailer a month ago. I was like, oh my god, yes, it looks great for him. But I think his character is pretty, it's pretty cool, I guess. I just from the trailer, I think he gives, hopefully, I think his performance will be pretty good. And all my fellow castmates, the slaves, everybody, I think, we were all there as a group, and everybody was trying to bring in their A game, and I think we had fun. We built friendships and stuff, and we still have like a text. Like a big text group chat, all of us slaves. Everybody texts every now and then, but everybody was cool. All the actors, it was. I had fun, even though it was a bit uncomfortable in the cold weather. But Larken, I got to, Larken, this articulate guy, on the set. Larken Rose, who was the creator of Jones Plantation, but I just remember seeing him on his laptop, sitting there all quiet. He's on his laptop and just real quiet, and Andrew, the director, was cool, and everybody was cool.
Yeah, Larkin. Yeah, there's some other people. Yeah, there's about 15 or 20 people overall in that movie, I think, depending on all the parts.
Oh, and I should say, it's the actor. I forgot his character. But I know his name, J.T. Rockwell. What's his character? But he's with the cowboy hat and the mustache.
Yeah.
I forgot his character name.
Is that another plantation owner?
Yeah, comes in with he's consulting with Mr. Smith and Jones, the other. You know what I'm talking about? He's very cool. We were just hanging out talking about his film experience. His first movie being a part of was Star Wars, and we just like, wow, you're really a Star Wars. You're on Star Wars. But he was Mr. J.T. Rockwell. He was very cool.
But it can definitely be very different that way. You never know what kind of role it's. And sometimes I've noticed people will. I know when I used to follow certain actors say, "Hey, I'm going to be in a movie," and then they end up being on screen for 5 minutes of the movie. It's like, okay, or you're sitting there, wait, when's he going to be on? When's he going to be on? Oh, there he is. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and you got to get moving somewhere, though. Yeah.
Yeah. To go back to, like I said, about my very first movie, I have one of those parts where you have to like stop it. You hear my line. I have one line. So, oh, there I go. Freeze it. You see my head. That's me. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, you've seen the movie, so
Yeah.
I'm pleased with the trailer. So I don't. I mean, your thoughts about the movie? If I mean, I'm proud of it. I'm happy to be a part of it. And I'm ready for people to see it, and maybe they can have conversations and debates, and maybe hopefully. And there's some a bit of funny moments in it as well. Little
Yeah.
Jones Plantation.
Yeah, was it mostly funded via Indiegogo?
I think Larken Rose. Once I had the part, I immediately Googled Larken, Andrew, and I went to YouTube, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so I the whole history. There's an animated short that was based on that he created 10 years ago, and I watched their campaign to raise money, and I think it was just pretty much funded by his supporters. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. They were able to, without them, they were able to get this movie made. The money just reached out, and they met their goal, and now we have a live action movie, real movie.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. The website says, we all live on Jones Plantation. You can control a man with brute violence, but you can never truly own a man until he's convinced that your word is law and obedience is a virtue. A film destined to be a cult classic and at the forefront of American dissident cinema. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, and so how and then the director apparently is Andrew Treglia. So yeah.
Treglia, I think I'm pronouncing there. Yeah, Andrew Treglia. Yes.
How'd that work out? Was that pretty? Was it working up? Was he pretty? What'd you think of all that? I mean, anything you would have changed or done differently if you'd been in the director's seat or not?
What I thought he was cool. I mean, like I said, he gave me freedom. I knew if I had asked him, I was like, oh, I want to try something. I want to do this. I know he would be willing to, would have let me do it, but it was pretty much there on the paper. And so, yeah, he was cool. I know it was a stressful job, but yeah, he was real cool, laid back, and yeah, I hope to work with him again or something. So, yeah, he ran the set well.
Yeah,
he was the captain, and I think he did a good job.
Yeah, how big was the crew on this film? I mean, you had the director, you had a few other. Obviously, you always see that long list of people in the credits when you watch the movie. It's but how many of them were actually there? Because they usually list everybody, even the people who write the paychecks and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was. I'm so used to working on these micro budget films that yeah, it was we had a little crew. We had a little film crew. A gaffer, light, it's a cinematographer.
Yeah,
it was a nice little crew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It felt small, but it was, yeah, it was a nice little crew.
Yeah, you've always got somebody holding the boom mic and somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize. It took me a long time before I realized when you see in the credits of a movie where sometimes let's say "Boom Man," and that was just a. Is that just a guy who sits back and makes boom noises? No, no, this is the guy who holds the. It's the guy
Well,
who
it's
holds the microphone because
yeah, the boom mic. It's you
yeah,
usually see them like this with the
oh
mic
yeah,
over
yeah,
the actors, with the boom
yeah.
operator.
I've been in some separate situations where I've also been holding boom mics. Yeah, it can get a little tedious, but it's also a very important job. And Hollywood is smart in this sense that they still have all these things wired. So the boom microphone is wired. All this stuff is wired because you just add more variables that can go wrong when you put things on wireless. It just does that way.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, they were great too. The crew members, cool, talk with them, and so yeah, it was a nice little movie set, family for a brief period of time.
Yeah. What about your outlook changed after doing the Jones Plantation?
Um, I think we were talking about earlier mental slavery.
Yeah.
Like when I thought, I was like, wow, okay, you know, here, whatever political belief I have or had, I was like, wow, I didn't think about it that way. I've really been, have I been bamboozled? Have I been? So, like we were talking about that, about the habits. Like you see things, see things one way, and then somebody shows you, okay, but wait a minute, this is this is what happened. This is what's really happening. Do you see what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, wow, we really are. This is wow. So kind of, without putting too many words, it's kind of where I'm at, and I'm still like, I was like, oh, I'm starting to see things like, wow, wow, yeah, and look at it that way.
Yeah.
So it's just opening me up, opening my mind. I'm starting to be
Yeah.
aware of everything, not being fooled by the I don't know, the pretty shiny things, and you think that's they're gonna come and help you or help you out when they're just as bad or worse.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, it's opened my mind up. So. And that's why I want the movie. I'm hoping everybody, if when they see it, gets them to think a little bit more. Like, wow, okay, interesting. I didn't see it that way before. You
Yes,
know.
indeed.
hmm
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else that was really memorable for good or bad about the movie? I mean,
Um, I just, I guess, I guess when you're on a movie set and everybody's coming together to make art, and you're only together for a small amount of time, and then it's over, and I just remember everybody who I got to play with, got to work with, and now we probably won't even see each other again, but
yeah.
the memorable part, just we just got together for this brief amount of time to make art, and hoping it and it lasts forever. So,
Yes.
and we were a moment in time, and this now what we did is it's forever now. It's on film, so that's the only takeaway I get from it, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
and hopefully made something that's meaningful, that's entertaining, and also has some kind of message to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. Do you prefer movies that have a message or not?
I mean, a little bit of both. I guess movies are supposed to be entertaining, and if you could, throw a little subtle little message in there, not like be overbearing with it or preachy with it, but you entertain an audience with a little message, a little bit of both, combine them
Yeah.
together. I guess that's the best way. entertain the folks and, give them something to think about at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Any other time you did a movie or a role that had a message or not?
I think other things, it was, like I said, I hadn't seen Jones Plantation. I hadn't seen Jones Plantation yet, but, other projects, it may have been, more subtle or, not everything I did, it had like a message to it, but, some more overt than others.
Yeah. So where can I have your IMDb link? Where else can people find you out there if they're looking for your work?
Well, I got a couple of short films on YouTube. I should say, majority of my stuff you can find me on Tubi, Amazon Prime. Matter of fact, you probably just type my name in Tubi, Keith Johnson, and a few of my films will pop up.
Tubi,
Amazon Prime, Tubi, Tubi TV, Tubi.
TUBE.
Yeah, TUBI, a streaming service, free. Everything is free. Hollywood films, independent films.
Okay, yes.
Um,
yes, okay. TUBI TV. Yes, okay.
Yes. Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah.
Primarily, it's with my collaboration with the director Jerron Lockridge. And find a couple of short films on YouTube. I'm primarily on Facebook, Keith Johnson. Instagram is slowly into Instagram. Keith LaJohn at Keith LaJohn, KeithLajohn.
Yeah.
And that's my primary two places for now.
Yeah. Anything else left to say before we go?
I just want to thank you for having me on. And I think I'm worthy to be talked to, but I want to.
You're a good interview. Yeah, you're a nice guy. Good interview. Yep.
Oh, thank you. And just people get ready for the Jones Plantation. And
Jones Plantation, yes, indeed.
And
we'll be out there soon, yeah. And it's JonesPlantationFilm.com.
JonesPlantationFilm.com.
Yes.
And if for anybody's on Facebook, there's a Facebook page that you keep up with. Jones Plantation, the feature film on Facebook. Yes. That's the Facebook page.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Keith.
Thank you.
I'm Chris Baker. Please subscribe the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow the channel. You can also get my novel, Escape from the Village, and we are out. Thank you. Bye-bye.